So thank you all for joining us and for making it through the transfer from the main stage to this session, which is of course the best session. So we're very happy that you chose to join us. My name is Omri Boral. I am the co-founder and CEO at Tech for Good. And in our work with corporations from all over the world, we are seeing many changes, both in mindset, but even more importantly, in action that corporations are taking towards impact generating initiatives. We're seeing a growing number of corporations that are actively engaged in identifying, cultivating, and embedding impact initiatives. Those initiatives are becoming more and more strategic and more integral to the organization's goals and core business. So today we invite you to take a deep dive with us to see how corporates are acting as change agents in the impact economy. We will hear from three different people. We will have Stefano Martini instead of Massimiliano Tellini. Stefano Martini is the head of the Circular Economy Lab at Intesa Sanpaolo Innovation Center. Intesa Sanpaolo is the 5th largest banking group in Europe and a leading Italian banking group serving millions of customers around the world. After that, we will have the pleasure of hosting Hadas Zucker from Designit. Designit is a global strategic design firm that creates products, services, and experiences to empower people to live better, have more informed lives while advancing business performance. Following these two talks, we will have a panel discussion where we will have an opportunity for you to also ask questions. And joining Hadas and Stefano, we will have Ricardo Porra, who is the CEO at Cariplo Factory. So this is our plan for the next 40 minutes. We do hope that you will see it as valuable and insightful. And we invite you to ask us questions in the chat box. Unfortunately, we cannot allow everyone to speak. So as we have a very short time, so we will keep it that way. And we ask for your forgiveness and understanding. So we will start with Stefano, and we will allow you to share your screen.
Hello, thank you very much. And hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here today with you. Let me introduce myself. I'm Stefano Martini, and I'm the head of Intesa Sanpaolo Innovation Center's Economy Lab. Today, I would like to share with you the approach of Intesa Sanpaolo towards the circular economy. Circular economy that for us is what a new paradigm that allowed to change the economy from linear to circular, of course, decoupling the growing of the economy from the consumption of finite natural resources. That means to rethink completely the way we produce product, the way we think about the product and how we use it and how we recover it. The circular economy is based on 3 simple principles. That is design out of waste of pollution. That means when you design a product, when you design a process, you don't have to take into consideration waste and pollution. The second one is to keep the product and material in use as long as possible. This means not to waste material, not to waste value that is inside of the product, instead and go to the disposed. And then regenerate natural system. That means to give back to our earth the nutrients and the value that we, without having an imbalance in keeping just resources from the earth. This, in our perspective, is a way also to mitigate the risk that is inside the linear economy. Linear economy means to take resources, to make product, and then to waste everything. Going to the circular economy means to have a more efficient supply chain, means to mitigate the risk related to the price of the raw materials and so on, and give also some new opportunity for the companies, of course, to improve their competitiveness in the market, to reduce the cost of the raw material, and to have a new way to deal with the customer and to improve the retention for the customers. Intesa Sanpaolo want to be an impact bank, so started some years ago working on that. And the circular economy is one of the action that is taking place to create a new approach for the value creation. So our CEO, Mr. Carlo Messina, is really committed to help the financial system to go towards the circular economy, and also ask the financial sector to do the same, because it's a way also to support the transition of the economic system, but also create new opportunity for the financial system in terms of de-risking. So a company that is more circular, for our perspective, is less risky in the financial wise. Intesa Sanpaolo entered in the Ellen MacArthur Foundation network late in 2015. That means for us to be committed in spreading what is the circular economy and how to accelerate the adoption of this principle in the economic system. We are the financial system strategic partner. So we are sitting with these very, very important international companies, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation network. And so we work with them in order to follow this aim. So accelerate the adoption of the circular economy in the worldwide environment. As we have an international commitment, of course, one of the latest is we signed a deal with the Ministry of the Economy, United Arab Emirates, in order to support also foreign company and startups to develop technologies for the circular economy, and then to adopt this paradigm as a new way of value creation, as we said before. Our commitment is also stated with this plafond. So the bank released in late 2018, early 2019, a circular economy plafond, a credit facility that can reach 5 billion euro to support the company that want to perform a project in the circular economy field. And we help them with the best condition possible at that moment, financial condition possible. We develop 5 criteria to be eligible for this plafond. We develop them with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation because we want to be sure that what we are doing is going in the right direction. So these criteria are from a solution that extend the product life, good and or materials that is really, really aligned with the principle of the circular economy. And then we added to this principle, these criteria, also 3 criteria related to the shifting of the energy. So we would like to support also the companies that is performing a transition process towards the renewable energy. We don't forget that an important asset for the transition to the circular economy are innovative technology. And so we developed also a criteria, an accessible criteria related to the technology that enable the transition to the circular economy. A couple of examples of a project we supported, Meyer Technimont. We supported them implementing a solution for a new plant to split the plastic before be recycling in order to create a really high value of this project. Times Water is another project we supported in order to recovery the material in the water, and so to reuse what they recover to prevention the water pollution, but also for the agriculture. Other examples really quickly are shown in this slide. And to go further, circular economy, in our opinions, is also a way to fund money. So Intesa Sanpaolo released a bond for sustainability, but related to the circular economy project we financed. And this means have a new way to fund money and to give to the market the right reward. At the end, we launched in the late 2018, a circular economy lab. That is a physical platform that is based in Milan with Cariplo factory. The aim of this CE lab is to be a competence center to spread the knowledge about the circular economy, and then to support the companies towards a path of transition to the circular economy. We developed 3 action line, so circular connection, in order to open a dialogue on circular economy between different stakeholders. Circular education, that means to help companies to update their internal knowledge towards the circular economy. And circular innovation, that means to provide advisory service to help a company to go through a path of transformation. We are really dedicated in Italy, but we have a lot of relationship worldwide with many subjects that we collaborate in order to perform projects. And what is, in our opinion, the circular innovation path for a company is shown in this slide. So starting from the assessment, so how a company is circular or not, and so to identify some roadmap of transformation. To a second phase is scan, so go to a circular economy open innovation to help companies to find on the market technology and solution to import quickly in their process, inside the process. And then the consolidation, that means to perform really important project inside the company to have a new opportunity related to the circular economy with project building, also, or even to communicate with the market with a circular economy plan, so an action plan to transform the company in a circular economy way. Thank you very much for inviting me today, and I hope to go forward in the discussion with you.
Thank you so much, Stefano. I think it's truly a pioneering project, your Circular Economy Lab, and hopefully many banks will follow. And also we will see more and more initiatives that are being financed and supported by Intesa Sanpaolo and others as well. So thank you very much, and you will join us in the panel discussion. I'm very happy to invite next Hadas Zucker from Designit. Hadas is a strategic design lead and is specifically focused on the impact domain. We've had the chance of working with Hadas for the past few months. It's been an absolute privilege to learn from your professionalism and creativity, and I'm very much looking forward to what you have to say.
Thank you so much, Marie. Try to share my screen, so let me know if you see it properly. Do you see my screen? Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. So as Marie said, I'm Hadas. I'm a strategic design lead at Designit, and I'm here at our studio in Tel Aviv. Designit is a global strategic design firm. We were born in Denmark, grew in Scandinavia, Europe, and today we're finally global. We are 550 passionate designers and interdisciplinary experts working together for more than 30 years now. to create products, services, and experiences that empower people to live better, more informed life. With design, we have transformed companies, industries, and institutions to become more people-centered, more innovative, and more adaptive. We improve the quality of life while boosting business performance and growth. And we're here to talk about impact, as the pressure on businesses to operate sustainably is increasing. And it requires companies to adopt a more systemic approach to change in order to integrate new challenging dimensions: the environmental dimension, societal, and then the economic one. There is a perceived historic divide between making money and doing good. But I really think that we need to reframe the conversation around impact and adopt a new mindset that explores the value in sustainable and responsible business thinking. We should look at impact as an opportunity. We should use it as a lens for strengthening brands and strengthen the relationship with consumers. We should use it as a lens for relevance, as inequality and distrust in institutions and businesses has set new records in 2020. We should also use it as a lens for innovation. Innovation is usually used to focus on productivity and efficiency and economic growth. However, we see this paradigm changing from both entrepreneurs and businesses that recognize that economic growth has to come hand in hand with societal changes. We can use it as a lens for differentiation. So we follow ethic-driven purchasing behaviors from consumers. We see sustainable and purposeful products becoming more and more popular. And we as business leaders can develop new value propositions that address both local and societal challenges to strengthen the trust with consumers. So as consultants, it really reminds us the same energy and excitement that was part of the momentum behind digital transformation. Everyone were talking about it, but no one really knew what it means. And it seems to everyone really complex, risky, and expensive. So now that digital has become really just an enabler for every kind of other business, we are facing a new era, the era of the impact revolution. And every time there is a momentum for change, we need to start and be worried about buzzwords, about the misconceptions, the ambiguity, or the jargon that kind of rises in the space. So let's start by articulating what impact is not. Impact is not corporate philanthropy or charitable giving. Impact is also not CSR. The CSR model has been outdated, and honestly, let's face it, kind of failed. It's limited in its scale and its speed. It's most of the time lacking top management commitment and end up in doing a volunteering kind of initiative. And mostly it's lacking a solid business evidence to demonstrate the potential gain from the initiative to the business growth. Impact is definitely not just a one-time marketing stunt. We also have seen numerous of efforts of brand to kind of wipe sustainability promises without actual commitment of the organization or the product features. By doing that, you probably make more damage than benefit, and you would face the cold shower of impact washing. Impact is not an overnight kind of makeover. You will probably need to look beyond your short-term profitability and be prepared perhaps to leave some money on the table and start investing in changes that would pay off in the long run. You can use this impact letter to kind of try to assess your organization impact maturity level. And you can see that only once you connect your impact initiative into the business model, then you're able to get closer to becoming an impact generating organization. So if we know that it has to be connected to the actual business model and to profitability, we also know that we would need to look beyond short-term profits. We need to have strong discipline, long-term commitment, and a synchronized plan of action to move from intention to implementation. So how do we do that? At Designit, we are obsessed with getting impact right. We know that design has the power to change the way people live, work, and play. And we know it because we've done it before. And today, more than ever, the world needs the power of design. And so we harness design and we move from innovative design to transformative design to responsible design towards what we call shared value design. We define as the next frontier of design. What actually does it mean? So I'm going to run through some quick examples to make our value clear. So when we work together with Manon Madine, an impact investing fund based in Israel, London, and Africa, we designed a business model, a brand, and value proposition. And we defined its core mission as investing in compassionate disruption. So that means that we accelerate innovation, we invest in tech startup, but we also consciously consider the impact of those technologies on the existing ecosystem in the field. And we look at the total influence it would carry on communities, on the local workforce, and the planet. It's a whole different mindset than the normal mindset that connected to disruption or to the move fast and break things. When we worked with Lego on designing their future strategy, we looked at their product portfolio and their cooperation with partners, and we worked in co-creation with stakeholders. We prototyped, designed, and validated an inspiring vision for the future, and designed a set of interdependent design criteria and an engagement platform for the partners in order to kind of build the backbone of Lego Future Strategy. At the moment, we work with IKEA, with the IKEA social entrepreneurship arm to design a knowledge and networking hub. We are now in the research phase. We reach out to different players in the ecosystem, including the social entrepreneurship and other partners, to come up with the right platform to be implemented in 2021. We worked with Oslo University Hospital to understand better the situation of women diagnosed with breast cancer, and we redesigned their patient journey. So we talked to users, we talked to women, we used service design. We tried to synchronize the work of practitioners, the different departments, and the service routine, and reduce waiting time in 90%. Women that were waiting for an answer about their status had to stop waiting for 12 weeks, and we shortened that to 7 days of anxiety. Yeah, so obviously reducing their anxiety. We improved their life quality and also the socioeconomic saving for both the patients and the hospital. We also practice this internally, where we empower and engage our designers to be part of our growth strategy. So we collaboratively map the industries, their focus areas, and the type of projects that we want to work and make impact on. So internally, it has been proven to gain a lot of excitement and commitment from the team and paid up in the bottom line. So we're transferring together with progressive partners and clients from co-creation to deep ongoing collaboration that aims to tackle the most complex and systemic challenges that societies and companies face now. We move from designing for humans to designing for humanity, and create solutions that are sustainable, equitable, and advance humane futures for all. So what does it mean in terms of framework? It means that when we design solutions, we look at a wider ecosystem of stakeholders, shareholders, potential investors, employees, consumers, society, and environments, and society as a whole. And I'm not saying it's an easy task, but we need to take an holistic view. We also look at how we work and as a company, and we walk the talk. We commit to lower our energy consumption and pursue diversity in talent. We help clients increase their positive impact through the projects that we do. As designers, we ask hard questions. We integrate ethical considerations in the design, in the processes, and in the production processes. and we develop solutions that further the SDG goals. And we do that both internally, but also in our work with global community of like-minded organizations. So we practice positive activism by partnership with institutions like the Nobel Prize Center, climate change movements, and fellow NGOs that want to collaborate with shared values and to tackle societal challenges. So you're probably thinking to yourself, what can I do in order to get impact right at my organization? So here are some very basic or easy to implement key takeaway. So the first thing that you have to start with being in the right mindset. And being in the right mindset would be to actually unlearn a lot of what you know as business as usual. For business leaders, it's probably not easy, as many of the tools that are asked to be implemented today are not stuff that has been taught in business schools. No one teaches to solve complex societal or environmental challenges, but this is part of the task today. The second thing is to find your intentionality. Intentionality is a big word in the impact space, and that means that you would have to discover what problem you're trying to solve. In order to do that, probably one of those effective ways is to use system thinking. System thinking is a framework that would help you to identify your actual core problem and embark on providing a solution. As opposed to causality, which connect one thing binary to the other, system thinking would provide you a wider picture of the problems which are interrelated. The more problems, the more reasons, the more opportunities for innovation. When designing an effective impact strategy, you can see you have to look at it as an opportunity and leverage it in a practical way, match it to your growth strategy, your new markets, and the problems that that you're trying to solve and to consumers matter the most. You would also have to articulate a purpose that has been such a mysterious word lately, but do it in a way that goes from top down to bottom up, reward and incentivize local initiative in the organization. Use the power of storytelling, use emotions, stories, your personality, what it means to you. Enhance relevance. So we see that consumers are trying to do the right thing. They're trying to be more ecological, to eat better, to treat each other with more respect. We need to give more magnitude to underrepresented communities and population. These are all new addressable markets that has never been existed before. And then finally, in one example of it, sorry, I go back for a minute. You have to also embrace and leverage the changing consumer sentiment in the space. It means that, as we said, we see a lot of consumers trying to behave better. So take that sentiment, grab it and leverage it, like the business, like the death of ownership, which kind of allow us to create more opportunities around sharing, repairing, swapping, and stuff that support the circular economy, connected to your core business model, your products and services. And finally, make your impact status your growth thesis by articulating your goals, measuring and evaluating them in order to improve. So this is a little bit of a sum up of how you can move from intention to implementation.
Thank you, Hadass, very much. We see so many corporations that are somewhere along this process, and I think it's a very confusing process as it holds many new paths and new forms of collaboration, new forms of doing business, which can be a challenge, but can also be an opportunity. And this is what we will discuss in the panel that we have for the next 10 minutes or so. I'm sorry, but we're running a little bit late on time. What I would like to do is to start with Ricardo, who I saw was kind of nodding as Hadass was speaking. And Ricardo, could you please introduce yourself and Curricula Factory and share with us maybe at least one example of the amazing work that you are doing there?
Yeah, for sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ricardo Polo. I'm Curricula Factory Chief Operating Officer. Cariplo Factory is located in Milan and is a spin-off of Cariplo Foundation. That is one of the Italian and European leading grant-making foundation. Cariplo Factory is a benefit corporation. Our primary mission is to generate social and economic growth in Italy, leveraging on two pillars: talent and innovation. We are an open innovation catalyst, meaning that we have a unique and specific operating model that contributes to foster knowledge cross-pollination among the most relevant stakeholders in the innovation ecosystem. Our peculiarity is to cover the whole innovation process through an end-to-end approach that supports from the generation of new ideas to scale up of startups and consolidation of new business entities. Clearly covering this whole innovation process, we work with a variety of targets that includes people, startups, and corporates. So in the last 4 years, we have been working with the most top-tier business companies in Italy, and we support them in their innovation journey. And today, just as an example of our success, I just want to share with you what we have done, the experience that we have with Novartis. As you probably know, Novartis is a global pharma company with local branches all over the world. In 2016, we started working with Novartis Italy. And at the time, they were in the process of implementing a specific initiative to train researchers, scientific researchers on entrepreneurship. These initiatives did not have a specific strategic relevance in the company and was developed primarily for marketing and CSR goals. Through our collaboration, the vision of the initiative completely changed into a systemic open innovation program that aligns the specific impact aims of the company with their business mission. The program, that is called BioApper, has become the Italian leading open innovation platform in life sciences. In the last 3 years, it identified more than 500 innovative ideas coming from the best research centers in Italy. It accelerated the best one, supporting their consolidation and go-to-market process. Overall, this wonderful mechanism has generated employability, exploitation of scientific research, and last but not least, it contributes to validate startups that with their products and with their innovative business model have a direct positive impact on patient journey and in general on well-being. So in a nutshell, this is our introduction.
Thank you very much, Riccardo. So I think we have three representatives of three organizations here that have the opportunity to work with many different corporations around their impact innovation needs and strategies. And in that, for that reason, I would like to ask you, as you have this broad view on the trends that are happening and different companies that are choosing different mechanisms to do this, I would like to ask you, what would be the key success factors that you can recommend to companies that they have to take into account when they are stepping in to a process like this? So let's start with Hadass.
Sure. I think that probably the key success factors would be a good combination between strategy and strategic thinking and tactics. So essentially, you need to be strategic around developing a bold vision and then tactic and pragmatic in execution. So having really big ambition, as we said, understanding what you want to tackle, and then use rapid experimentation to reduce uncertainty that you are in the right direction. So do as many tests as possible, collect data, do prototyping, collect signals that you're in the right way to go from intention to implementation and to furthering the goal that you at, but then do it through actual, actually testing and actually building and actually testing the space.
Thank you. Ricardo?
Yes, I fully agree with Ada, and I would like to add that to also look outside the boundary of the company, so to understand exactly what is the opportunity to adopt the circular economy as a way of developing the companies, and so to have a many relationship with other stakeholders interested in the same field, in order to understand exactly what is the opportunity, and then to go towards that opportunity in order really to disrupt the business model of the company, to disrupt the way the company deals with the supply chain, of course, but also with the customers.
Thank you. Ricardo? Your answer?
Yeah, Hadas already mentioned it, but I completely agree with her. And in my opinion, one of the key success factors to be considered is company culture. So when we deal with innovation and impact innovation with two corporates, we experience that a top-down approach is always unsuccessful. On the contrary, it's very important, a culture of innovation embedded and with the structure of the organization. And clearly this happened because employees and management are engaged, and they can generate directly impact in their day-by-day activities. So this is our experience. This can be managed in different ways. An example could be working, for example, with ambassadors. So using ambassador as an agent of change, internal change, but also working in some specific external environment. So cross-pollinate your organization with the external worlds, for example, working within innovation hubs or innovation districts where you can mix your own culture with other culture, with other values and other backgrounds.
So I think that's really interesting, because you've all mentioned some aspects that are really top down. It has to be management, it has to be strategy, it has to be something that is involving the organizational kind of leadership. But you've also mentioned things that are relevant as bottom-up issues, such as culture and kind of harnessing the employees for that, for the process. So it's a little bit, it's probably confusing for corporate executives that are probably here with us. And some of them might be wondering how to start, what would be the first step. So just as a final note, I'd love to hear from you. What would your recommendation be, or one small tip, a very short tip from each of you as to what would be the first step you would recommend them to take?
I think that it would be quite effective to try to assess your actual genuine role in the space as a business. And you can do that collaboratively. So you would have all your internal stakeholders and your teams that you work with to do that in a co-creative program. So it's not something that is top down, but it's actually something that everyone are partners in it, and they try to solve this goal together. Then in the same time, you have to kind of talk to your customers and to discover their needs, to discover how what you're delivering furthering a goal. Then you have to connect that to actual real problems, as we all living in this society and partners on the planet. And by understanding this holistic picture, you would, design the solutions together, the solutions that are based on your core competencies of your products, of your services, but then also are connecting to the big picture. And as I said before, make your impact thesis, your growth thesis, your cultural thesis, your DNA.
Thank you. Stefano, Ricardo, any last remarks?
I have to agree again with Hadas, because it's really a matter of understanding exactly your environment. And so to leverage the strategy top down, bottom up, in order to match the right solution that help company to establish what is the way to follow in order to have this upgrade of the business model and the upgrade of the relationship with the other stakeholder, and the internal and external, of course.
Yeah, from my point of view, I will recommend to start thinking to be impact by design. That it's a very hard issue, but if you want to be disruptive, you have to start thinking to be impact by design, and meaning that probably a specific principle, because you can't change it. From a day to another, your business model, the way you do business, is to start thinking of implementing responsible innovation within your company, working with your stakeholder, all the relevant stakeholder in your radar, in your map, from your supply chain to your clients to the other relevant players in the innovation ecosystem, and meaning that all the relevant players are involved in the innovation process since the beginning. This is the real difference, because they can agree and share the results of the innovation process. So it's another way to do co-creation and to take account of the needs of citizens and not customer since the beginning. And this is very important if you want to have a positive impact on society.
Wonderful. I want to thank you all, Stefano, Hadas, Ricardo, for joining us to this discussion. And to all the participants, sorry that we did not have more time, but we now have to go back to the main stage for a conversation between Amit Buri and Bill Sonnenborn. I strongly encourage you to come back through the online lobby platform. So we will see you there in a few minutes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you to you.
Thank you. Bye.